Hey babes, this is Sharonda Isadora and welcome to Brazen Babe Reviews. This video will be my bookish thoughts on The Marriage Past by Briana. This is a physical ARC that I received from the publisher, Dafina, which is a division in Kennington Books. It's mainly like their black books division, their black romance and stuff like that division. So let's get into this thing, shall we?
Devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress.
Okay, so excuse my nails if you see them pop up every now and then. I'm gonna go get them done, but I just had to come on here and talk about this book because I stayed up all night reading this book. Now, I've read Briana Cole's work before. She has another series through Kennington, which is, I think it's a 3-book series, but the first book in that series was The Wives We Play. And in this book, we see a return of those folks from those books. And I read that book, and when they asked, they was like, you know, if you want to read the book, I was like, well, shit, I know it's going to be something. So, you know, yeah, I'll read it. So I will read the blurb to you guys, and then we will get into my bookish thoughts. Here we go. He's rich, successful, and finally married his longtime girlfriend nearly a year ago. But for Dr. Dorian Graham, too many women are never enough, no matter how loyal his wife Shantae has been since their college days. So when she proposes, they celebrate their first anniversary by each other, spending a no questions asked, no consequences night. With their greatest temptation, Dorian is shocked, but he can't resist, especially since Shantae's wild card younger sister Reagan is gorgeous, uninhibited, and the one who got away. And I was like, got away from what? But you know, well, let's get back to this. But one sizzling night with Reagan isn't enough. The more he takes, the more she demands, and the more he suddenly has to lose. Soon, with his mind games being used against him and his every move checkmated, Dorian will be forced to go all in on one last desperate play to win. But winning might just be another way to crash and burn. Okay. So that is your blurb for The Marriage Past. Child. So when I opened up the book, I read the first sentence, and it says, now this is a advanced reading copy, so these sentences and quotes that I will be saying from this book will more than likely or probably change. So, you know, that's my little, what do you call those things? That's my little warning to you guys right there. And it's not a warning, but you know what I'm saying. So this is the first sentence in chapter 1. Today seemed like the perfect day to go to jail. So when I read that, I was like, oh, this is about to be some shit. This is about to be some shit. So you have Dorian and Shantae, who have now been married for a year. And they finally got married after they got out of college, and they are still having kind of like some marriage woes or whatever, because when they were in school, Dorian was basically, you know, a piece of shit. He had a Roman penis, you know what I mean? And Shantae, for whatever reason, stayed with him. Because I'm like, I was reading the story and I was like, well, girl, if it was that bad, why you even stay? But anyway, so they're now married, and Shantae really still doesn't trust Damien. He is trying. He decided that when, you know, once they got married, you know, he wasn't going to cheat anymore, even though temptation is strong as shit. Because there's a part in the book where they go inside, and also, slight warning, there'll be some spoilers. Not a lot, just some. So, again, I gotta get these raggedy nails done so I can't be here all day. So, so, you know, you know, even though the temptation is quite strong for him, because when we go inside of the book, you know, we, like I said, we get that one sentence, and you know, he's at a bachelor party for one of his other friends that is getting married, and they're at a strip club, and Dorian is having a hard time, you know, keeping it, his parts to himself. So, you know, so we pan to Shantae, who goes, when we go inside of the story, Shantae is visiting her sister Reagan, who is locked up for some old scammy shit she done did. So, and, you know, we kind of get like a veiled conversation between them. They don't go into too much or whatever, but we, you know, pan back into, you know, Dorian, you know, Dorian, also, after that strip club scene I was saying, Dorian runs into, Shantae at the strip club as well. It's her birthday. She out with her girls, partying for her birthday and things of that nature. And they kind of have like this really, you know, really intense sexual, you know, tension filled kind of like meetup, while they were both out, you know, doing their separate celebrations or whatever. And this is where we see like this attraction between Dorian and Reagan, again, who's his wife, baby sister. I mean, she's not a baby anymore, but you know, she's younger. So, you know, we see like this intense sexual tension between them start. And, you know, when we go inside this story, like I said, Shantae and Dorian, his name should have been fucking Damien, but anyway, Shantae and Dorian are having like, you know, marriage issues. He's kind of like tired of her, you know, always complaining. You know, he feels, you know, he's one of those men. He feels like, well, shit, I cheated. I ain't cheating no more. I don't understand why you can't trust me now. But, you know, it just didn't click for him. He really figured like, you know, I'm not cheating now. I don't understand why you always mad. And it's just a thing of like, dude, she can't trust you. And then we kind of find out on the day that they got married, or before they got married, he had her sign a prenup. I mean, pissed her off more, because it's like, why I gotta be the one to sign, you know, a prenup and all this other stuff? Like, you're the one with the wandering, you know, penis and shit like that. So, you know, she still doesn't trust him from all his previous tension. And then the man had her sign a prenup before they got married. So, you know, we go into this whole thing where now Reagan starts showing up conveniently in all these places that Dorian is. And it's funny because he's also seeking her out, because now he has Reagan on his brain. You know, badass young sister, bad body, you know, a whole lot reckless. You know, she feeling she ain't got shit to lose, even if it means fucking her sister brother, you know. So he's intrigued and he wants Reagan bad. So when on the night, the day of the anniversary, you know, Shantae cooks him dinner and all this other stuff, and she offers him the marriage pass, where she offers him this opportunity to go out and cheat. Just, you know, be with who he want to be with. No questions asked. All this, you know, nothing. She ain't gonna ask no questions. You have one night, sir, to do what you want to do. Now, listen, Dorian ain't a stupid man. Again, he's a doctor. I mean, he's a cosmetic surgeon, but he's a doctor, right? The man ain't stupid, so he's just like, like, why are you offering this? Like, you know, what's up? He's very cautious at first. You know, he's just like, nah, I ain't doing that. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, no, like, something's up. You know what I'm saying? He's not really trusting her with this marriage pass shit. And Shantae is pissed. And I'm reading like, well, girl, why you pissed? Like, you want him to be a better husband to you and stuff like that. Like, I don't understand why you mad that he's mad that you offered this to him when you don't really trust him. You always on his back about, you know, oh, you cheated and you ain't this. And I mean, because there was just sections in the book where she was always throwing it up in his face that, you know, he was, you know, he had a wandering penis. He was a cheater. And my question again was, I don't understand why you stayed with him so long, Shantae. Anyway, so at first Dorian is like, nah, no, I don't want it. I don't want it. Basically, like, I passed, girl. No, I'm good. So, but there are more these strange interactions between him and Reagan, and then they have this one interaction where they actually like kiss in the mouth, child. They just like all up in it, right? And so now he's starting to think about, now the sister's willing to give up the draws. My wife is offering me this one night to do what I want to do. That's Dorian, like, maybe I should rethink this and take her up on the offer. So he goes back to Shantae and basically like, you know what? Let's do it. And now this is both ways. It's not just him taking this night of, freedom to do what they will or whatever. She's going to do it too. So they have this one night, child. And of course, who Dorian decides to hook up with? Baby sister Reagan. And child. And this is how he gets caught up. Because, and I let me just finish my thoughts. So this is how he gets caught up with him having this affair with Reagan, who is, again, who? His wife's baby sister. Child, the book is a damn mess. These characters are a damn mess. They messier. They messy. But you know what? I kind of knew this going inside of Briana Cole's book because like I said, I read one of her previous books and that shit was messy. But this girl. So, it's this whole theme of, now we kind of find out there's more at play here. Now, remember, I told you that in the beginning of the book, we have the scene where Shantae goes to see Reagan while she's still locked up. I won't go into many details, but y'all, it's some games going on up in here. And trust and believe, Shantae ain't the innocent wife she is playing to be, because she caught up all up in that, child. That's all I'm gonna say. She caught up all up in that shit, and she the ringleader, honey. But it is some games going on in this book, and we see the story of this man who he wasn't shit, all the time that him and Shantae, before him and Shantae got married. And he made a promise to himself that once they got married, he was going to be out. He wasn't going to be the goddamn dog that he was before. He going to be good to his wife. But at the end of it all, his wife still does not trust him because of their past experiences. Again, I had questions why she stayed with him so long. But you know what? We don't know why people stay married or get married. They do that shit for whatever reasons, and it is what it is. And we have like all these different things going on in the story, but there's definitely a game being played in the marriage past, and Damien is being played hard by two sisters that have their own agendas. They are working together, but they have their own agendas. This is some juicy ass shit. I stayed up until 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, finishing this book because I just wanted to see what the hell was going on. We get a whole mosh-tosh of things. We are led to assume that, Shantae and Reagan don't really like each other. They got that little sister rivalry going on. We're led to believe that Shantae is like the good daughter. Reagan is terrible piece of shit daughter. There's some contention between, which is probably was true to some extent, you know what I mean? But we are really led to believe that, there is this really bad relationship between these sisters. Like, they speak or whatever, but I don't like that bitch. I don't like that bitch. It's kind of like that going on or whatever. But again, there is a game being played, child. This is good. I was pleasantly surprised because generally these kind of stories kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? But there's some good Easter eggs that Briana Cole has in the story, and it just leads to question of, you know, as far as like long-term relationships that either lead to marriage or no. You know, what are, you know, partners willing to do to you know, to stay together or not stay together. You know, would, you know, if you were married, you know, or if you were in a long-term relationship, you know, are you willing to be that person to say, hey, you know, let's have an open marriage, or I'll give you, you know, we're going to be married all this time. You know, with this marriage pass, Shantae's thing was, okay, every year we'll have one night to do what we will. We kind of saw this, if you ever saw the Netflix series Black Mirror. There's an episode, I don't know what season, I can't remember, but there's an episode in one of the seasons where we have a couple that does that. You know, they've been married for a while, you know, they're kind of like getting bored, and you know, all that other shit that goes on in long-term relationships and marriages and stuff like that. So they came up with the decision of having one night a year, you know, out to themselves. You know, they do what they want to do, no questions asked. And that's kind of what's going on in here. But it's some other shit going on up in here too, honey. I mean, some other shit. I was like, now this ending, I was kind of just like I saw it, like once I started reading further, I saw the ending coming, and it ended the way I thought it would, but there's a little bit of a twist at the end that I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it. I was just like, I kind of feel like it shouldn't have been thrown in. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that's going to lead to something else, you know, or, you know, another book, or if this is going to be a series or anything like that. Like, I don't know. But the good thing, you know, not the good thing, but, you know, she has, like, if this is going to be like a group reading or a book club type reading and stuff like that, you know, she has like, you know, different terms in the back, and she has like, you know, discussion questions in the back, you know, if this is going to be like, you know, like I said, a book discussion or a book club type of a book, which I really think would be a very good book club type of a book, because there's all type of questions that can be asked, you know, once, you know, one finishes this book, because there's a lot going on up in here. I do feel like there are some parts in the book that were kind of like left open, you know, like the relationship between Reagan and, you know, their parents. Like, what was that all about? You know, it's kind of like open to interpretation, but still, I would have liked to have gotten more on that. You know, like the parents are living a good life. You know, Shantae's living a good life. You know, like, why this girl, and you know, I get it, you know, there are some siblings, like, you know, everybody living good, you know, all the other stuff, but everybody trying to wonder, right, like, why this heifer so goddamn reckless? You know, it's kind of like that with Reagan. But, you know, I don't know if that was kind of like part of this this game to get Dorian caught up. But girl, this is some crazy stuff. I was just sitting up here like, oh. So this book is not due out until, it says March on the back of this book, but when I checked Goodreads, it was February. This book is due out February 2021. If you're so interested, check it out. If you're one of those readers that love, you know, messy ass dramas, this is the book for you. Some content warnings, trigger warnings. Again, there is marital cheating inside of this book. There is mention of suicide inside of this book. What else? There's a whole lot of shit going on up in this book. So, you know, content warnings, trigger warnings, you know, it's one of those messy ass books. But, you know, the suicide mentions and, you know, the marital cheating, you know, is, you know, there for you. You know, if you're one of those readers, you know, cheating inside a book is kind of like your, you know, your cutoff point, then, you know, I don't know. You know, this might not be for you. But it's a really good story, and it leads up to some really, really interesting things. Like, I just, for me, I just never understood why Shantae stayed in that marriage as long as she did. And it's not, you know, everybody knew Damien was out, you know, before they got married. Damien, why I keep saying Damien? His fucking name is Dorian Stronger. Anyway, you know, for me, it was just like, why did you even marry the man? You know, if she didn't trust him. Like, at the end of the day, she did not trust him. And then for him to offer her that prenup, you know, it kind of like set her off more. And I was just like, girl, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just had some questions about her thought process to stay in a marriage where, you know, she didn't trust her husband, like, at all. And she was always saying little things to him, like, you know, you're this kind of man, and, you know, basically telling him, like, you know, once a cheat, always a cheat, which is what Dorian had going on in the back of his head. You know what I mean? Like, this is how she sees me. You know, even though he genuinely did not cheat on her while they were married. So I was just like, so I just, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of like unanswered in this book, but it is a good ass story. I really enjoyed it. Check it out. Add it to your reading list. Oh, I got it upside down. Add it to your reading list. It is really worth reading. Whew. Child, Briana Cole, you be writing them old messy ass drama-filled stories, girl. All right, y'all, I'm about to go get my raggedy nails done. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Devil in a red dress.